Jungkook, your ex-boyfriend is your new boss. 4 days ago, he broke up with you and left you heartbroken. Now he is back as a rich billionaire, whereas you are struggling financially. So you decided to work for him in order to pay your bills. Meanwhile, Jungkook is trying to tease you on a daily basis. He likes to see you getting worked up. A detailed video of Jungkook teasing you is pinned in the comment section below. Please take a look. You got drunk at a club and Taehyung, who was supposed to take care of you, is missing. So Jungkook has no other option but to take you with him. But you were not ready to leave the club. So Jungkook told you he would buy you a drink if you come out. You blindly trusted him and he took you to his car. You realized that you are fooled. Wyan's point of view. I'm not following you. You're already outside. We may as well leave. Jungkook rolled his eyes. You leave, you go. I turn away. I'll throw you over my shoulder if I have to, Wyan. He won't. You wouldn't. I stared at him. Oh yes, I would. I yelped as he came closer. Okay, I'll follow you. Good girl, he smiled. You're a brute. Get in, he pointed. I put in extra effort to eye him distastefully before entering the passenger seat. He leaned down and his face came closer to mine as he worked the seatbelt. Stay put. I'm not a dog, I frowned. No, more like a mountain lion or a coyote. He chuckled before shutting the door and walking to the other side to get into the driver's seat. I don't like you, I complained as the car started moving. You said it before. You're so mean. I know. Very mean. I know that too. But I was still worried. About? He briefly glanced at me. I was worried and came to look for you, but then you said it was all my fault. It made me feel guilty and angry too. So I said all those things I didn't really mean. I shouldn't have laughed either. I sighed loudly and leaned my head against the window. The stalker, when she tried to kiss you, I shouldn't have laughed. It's okay, he glanced at me again. But because it's you, I shouldn't feel guilty either, right? No, you shouldn't. There goes noble Jungkook again. You're so annoying, I mumbled, but he only smiled. Still feeling nonplussed, I reached for the radio and turned it on. Oh, I know this song. I clapped happily, then slowly followed the lyrics Jungkook sighed. Sing, I poked his arm. No, I mimicked his gruff voice. Okay, that's enough radio time for you. Jungkook annoyingly turned the radio off. You see why I don't like you? I grumbled. You're not singing, you're yelling. And don't mimic me, he added before my lips could move. I wasn't going to mimic you, I totally was. He side-eyed me disbelievingly. A few minutes later, the car stopped as I opened the door, then stepped down. Hey, this is your apartment, not mine. Good to know you are conscious enough to tell the difference. Mine was closer and the better option. He held my hand, moving me along with him like I was a toddler and he was a fussing mummy. You should drink water. You might pass out soon, Jungkook said once we were inside his apartment. I'll take a scotch on the rocks instead. Here, he tried handing me a bottle of water. You come ruin my fun, bring me to your house and then give me water? I complained, not collecting the bottle from him. If you don't drink this water enough, your headache will be extra terrible in the morning. I don't want it. Fine, time to go to the bed then. Let's go. We are going to bed together? Not like... Don't be shy. You could have explained this to me earlier. I mean, I still don't like you, but I'm sure we can make it work. I should have left you at the club. Pretender. I grinned, then grabbed his back. His eyes widened and I winked. You're so shy. Let me. My lips puckered up in an attempt to kiss him, but he pushed my face away. I thought I was done dealing with all drunk versions of you. Now this drunk? He sighed, then in one motion swooped me up into his arms. Oh wow, I giggled and held up to his neck tightly. With quick strides, he walked up the stairs and entered a room where he slowly dropped me on the bed. He started to move away, but I held his shirt, pulling him to me. Shyness isn't a good look on you, big boy. How about you try this again when you're not completely out of your mind and drunk? He pried my fingers off and moved away. You're no fun, I yawned. He walked towards his room. Standing up, I headed for the door too. I opened it and found him in the process of removing his shirt. I'm sure this is assault now, Ryan. I heard him grumble as I rested my head on his back and wrapped my arms around his bare chest. But I just want to touch you. You look so strong. You're a handful. He removed my hands yet again and turned to face me wearing a stern look. You're just playing hard to get. I'm simply not interested. Then why was your heart beating so fast? Either it was my wandering state of mind or it really just happened. But his cheek slightly tingled red before he cleared his throat and asked, What will it take for you to leave me alone? Kiss me, I smiled. No, he said blankly and I pouted. Trust me, you'll be thanking me in the morning. Fine, get out. This is my closet. And I want to change my clothes as well. Into what? Your clothes. Just don't break anything, he said before walking out. I mindlessly looked through the shelves and grabbed what appeared to be a white t-shirt. Fumbling out of my top took a lot of energy, so I just wore the white shirt over my skirt and boots. I stumbled a bit as I walked out of the closet. You say you don't want to sleep with me, but you're on my bed. I'm not leaving you this drunk in another room. Who knows what you'll do? Come here, let me help you out of your boots. I eagerly walked over to him, sat on his thighs and held onto his shoulders. You were extremely frustrating tonight, Ryan. He pulled away hair from my face and I smiled. You'll eventually remember everything tomorrow and probably be regretful and embarrassed. He finished with a small smile, then focused on removing my boots. Now promise me you'll stay in your position and won't move. I promise. I crossed my fingers behind my back. If you break it, I'll really throw you out of the apartment. Okay, sir, I smiled innocently. He didn't move till I was at the far end of the bed. I silently went under the covers and yawned again. After a few minutes, I rolled over till I was next to him, then wrapped my arms and legs around him. You promised, he scolded. My fingers were crossed, I giggled. You're a mix, Ryan, his chest rumbled. Good night, Cook, I murmured before passing out. My eyes slowly fluttered open. I looked around, but my sight was still unclear. What happened yesterday? The club? My head hurt like hell, and my mind was almost completely blank. I definitely had a little too much to drink last night. The softness of the bed and pillow beneath me instantly told me it wasn't mine. Did I go home with someone last night? My sight cleared a bit, and I noticed the shirt I wore was certainly not mine either. There was a man beside me, a shirtless man. Panic swelled in me. The man turned again, making his face finally visible. I nearly fainted. Jungkook, you're awake? He yawned and sat up as well. How did we? Oh my god! I placed my hands over my mouth. We didn't, thanks to me. I was that drunk, wasn't I? I groaned heavily and ran my fingers through my tangled hair. I'm considering issuing an assault suit. It was bloody, you were all over me. His face was serious and he stood up from the bed. As he stretched, his lower abdominal muscles became taut with the movement. My eyes didn't dare to wander lower to his low-hanging pajama bottoms. And you still continue to ogle me? You need to put behind bars. I wasn't. Save your argument for court. You'll only hurt your head now. He cut off my words, then walked out of the room. I groaned again and kicked the covers. Stupid girl, just what did you do last night? Jungkook returned to the room with a small tray containing a glass of water and a bottle of painkiller. Is my purse downstairs? Should be in my car. Okay. I cleared my throat, then bit my lower lip. So, you were at the club last night then? He murmured a yes. Did you change me? I looked down at the white t-shirt and he grinned. Maybe, maybe not. He dropped the tray on the bedside table next to me. I have spare toothbrush and all other things you might need in the bathroom. He left the room. I walked downstairs and found Jungkook moving in the kitchen. A memory of me throwing my arms around him, smiling flirtatiously, then grabbing his back, suddenly appeared in my mind and I gasped. You aren't really going to issue that assault suit, are you? I smiled nervously as I approached Jungkook. Give me one good reason not to. He paused his action and grinned. Well, I was drunk. Very invalid excuse. I know, and oh my purse. Thankfully, all the items within were intact, or at least seems to be. I respond to all the messages, then turn to the handsome shirtless man making breakfast. Do you need any help? I stood next to him. Not exactly, but you can get the plates. All righty, I said, then went about finding and arranging plates on the island top, and after returning to his side, he served the breakfast, and in the quietness of his apartment, we ate. Once we were done eating and clearing the dishes, most of the memories from night before had returned. They were awful. Awful was an understatement. Thank you. I dropped the dish towel and turned to Jungkook, starting very awkwardly. For? He asked, and I knew he was going to make me spell it out. I nearly groaned. For helping me, bringing me here, and showing so much self-constraint against my attempts, I coughed. It wasn't so hard. He struggled indifferently, and I gaped at him, then scoffed. Well, I was just very drunk, by the way. It was more of the situation than you. It would have been the same outcome had it been anyone else. Of course, his tone was very disbelieving. I mean it, I scolded. Whatever. I mumbled unhappily and moved to sidestep him, but he shifted, and I was suddenly stuck between the island and him. A little pulse of excitement shamelessly ran up my spine as I stared up at him. A thank you won't be enough. No, he leaned in, leaving even less space between us. Then what will? An almost wicked glint lit his dark eyes before he spoke again. Revenge. Only revenge can satisfy and make up for the damages. Ignoring the traitorous excitement that ran down my spine again, I laughed. Damages? You're ready? I started, but gasped as his hand moved to my back and grabbed. What does that say again? An eye for an eye or a back for a back? I shoved him away, but he held onto my back protectively. He was laughing now, his eyes crinkling by the sides. You're like 5 years old, he grinned wolfishly. I also remember you groping me somewhere else. His eyes went down to my chest suggestively. Oh no, you don't. My eyes widened as I tried running to the other side of the kitchen, but he was faster. Jungkook, I squealed as he lifted me from behind, and soon the world was spinning. Half a minute must have passed before he finally obeyed my pleas to put me down. You? I started, but stopped to catch my breath and regain my senses. You are so petty, I jabbed his chest. You know, you completely deserved it. He grinned, then caught my hand in his and pulled me closer. An okay, you may be right smile would have formed on my lips too if our eyes didn't meet, letting the impropriety of the whole moment abruptly hit us. He released my hand and his grin slowly disappeared while I shuffled on my feet and moved away from him. I'm going to work in my study. He broke the loud silence first. You are not going to be the gentleman and drop me off? I asked, stopping his stride and possibly the awkwardness. What's the pride you usually carry when I'm almost begging you to let me drop you off? He folded his arms. Begging? More like forcing. But what can I say? I'm a bit of a cheapskate these days, and pride doesn't come before a fall. Come look for me when you're ready. He smiled and left the kitchen. A myriad of thoughts wandered to cloud my head, but I shook them all away. Shortly after, I was back in his room, in his closet, searching for my discarded top from last night. After dressing up, Jungkook took me home. For more videos, please subscribe this channel. Have a great day dear ones. Bye.